Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy, strong style, son of Fire, one half the reigning defending MPX Tag Team Champions. So, Masters of the Universe, let's geek about it for a scant few minutes in this spoiler-free sort of recap of it. 5 episodes of part 1 are on Netflix. Now, I've watched it a few times, and I think it's good. I've seen all the backlash and vitriol online about it being complaining that it's a Tila-centric show, which honestly it is, and I guess I can take issue, maybe if I wanted to, I saw one headline talking about did they pull like a bait and switch with the advertising and stuff for it. I understand that because prominently in the trailers was He-Man. But again, the show is called Masters of the Universe, so I mean, I go in there expecting. It's all about your expectations. So people ask me at MPX, last night, is it good? I think it's good, and I started my explanation with it depends upon what you go in there looking for. Now, if you're one of those people who are expecting just He-Man, wall He-Man all the time, you're going to be disappointed. He-Man's in the first episode. Chris Wood just nailed the "I have the power" line.
I have the power!
Oh my god, it's so good, so epic. As people that were complaining that they gave He-Man a magical girl transformation, I don't care. It was epic. I mean, in the 80s cartoon, it was just like a flash, and he was like from Prince Adam to He-Man, just a flash, because that's what they could do. They made a cool animation sequence because that's the capability we have today. So why not give him more of a true sort of henshin sequence? I mean, he got one in the 2000 X reboot, but again, because that's what they could do then. So if you have the capability to do it, why not do it? So I think if He-Man was made, if He-Man started today, we would get the henshin sequence. It's just about what they can do. I saw some people were complaining about, oh, you can see He-Man's butt, and there's the camera swirls around as his loincloth is appearing or whatever, and you see maybe a third of the top of the left cheek or something like that, maybe for a nanosecond. If you're pausing it and just, which some people probably did, paused it to look at that in slow motion, I mean that's an issue with you out there. So just some of these complaints, it's just people just wanting to be angry about stuff, and just people who don't honestly, let's be honest about it, people don't like women getting some shine, which is what Tila gets in this. There's no woke leftist agenda, yada yada yada, trying to indoctrinate children through this show, all that crap you'll see on various sites. It was just a fun show. Of course, the premise of it: final battle, Eternia, the power sword gets split in two, something happens to He-Man and Skeletor. Tila, years later, has turned her back on magic and the old ways and some of the old people that she used to know because she felt lied to because she didn't know that, Prince Adam was He-Man. She's pulled back in to find the two halves of the sword, bring it back together because magic is dying. If magic dies, Eternia dies. If Eternia dies, the rest of the universe dies. Those are the stakes. So you have a jaded Tila pulled back, and then she has to go encounter people that she turned her back on over those however many years pass between, because they don't really give a set number of years. We see old, new alliances formed with Evil Lyn and Beastman, which of course we've seen from the stills they put out, so that's not exactly a spoiler. We see He-Man through flashbacks, so we still get some He-Man action, but you don't get him in earnest after episode 1, which Adam is back by the cliffhanger of part 1, but it felt to me like they were kind of setting this up to do kind of what they did with Voltron when they did the new series of that, where you didn't see Voltron every episode. Old school Voltron was monster problem, you fight it as a lion, get your butt kicked, form Voltron, sword swipe, end. With the new Netflix Voltron, some people had crying about that, belly aching about that, but I liked it because they made seeing Voltron into an event. You look forward to when they came together, because they didn't do it every episode. So I think with this, they might kind of try to make He-Man an event type of thing when those transformations happen and Prince Adam takes that form to lay down some dispense some justice or whatever. So I think that's the path that they're going, which is fine with me. Some of the relationship stuff that they dealt with in this with Tila and Man-at-Arms, Orko, and his banter relationship that he developed with Evil Lyn and kind of his storyline as it plays out in this was great. You see Mossman, you see Roboto, you see glimpses of some of the other guys like Fisto and Clamp Champ in the early battle. We don't see them years later. Hopefully we will revisit them. You can enjoy it depending upon what you go in expecting and wanting from this series. And again, like I said, maybe you can feel bait and switch or led astray a little bit by the advertising, but I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a good story. The only thing I didn't really like about Tila was the voice, Sarah Michelle Gellar. She just didn't have a strong enough one. She was like Sarah Michelle Gellar's voice in this anyway. It was just whiny, and that's the thing that bothered me. I think we could have got a better voice actress for Tila. Outside of that, you had Kevin Conroy pop up. You had so many names from the voice acting world that were just great for this show. Outside of Kevin Conroy as Merman, I hear Batman. Kevin Conroy is Batman. So every time Merman speaks, I'm just hearing Batman. I'm just imagining in my head Batman. Outside of that, like I said, 5 episodes. Kind of dragged a little bit. Episodes, I guess, the back half of 3, maybe a little bit 4, before kind of finishing out strong in 5. Just one of those things. It's going to happen. You're not going to have just that upward momentum every single episode you'd like to, but realistically you're not going to. Outside of that, it was a great show. I left on a great cliffhanger, which you kind of expected, given if you look at some of the toys that are connected to this show, kind of guess how things was going to go. But left on a great cliffhanger. I'm really wondering what's going to happen, and I'm looking forward to part 2 of this. I think it's interesting how they're doing this whole part 1, part 2, or parts, releasing stuff in parts, because they started doing that with Voltron, and it's an interesting way to do things. I think I read that it helps them not have so much lag time between seasons to kind of do it that way, so we'll see if that plays out in that way. But all in all, it was a good series. Great animation, great action when it came up. It was great emotional depth to a lot of stuff. There's a lot of dust in the air in a couple parts when I was like watching these things play out, but you should definitely check it out. I might do a more in-depth kind of spoilery video, maybe not. So there are enough people out there that do that sort of thing that'll break down just ridiculously. It'd be like people put out like a 90-second trailer and then it's like 130 things you missed in the such and such trailer. I'm not gonna do that. It was just a fun show. You should check it out and just give it a shot, especially if you're a fan. Have an open mind and just take it for what it is and make your judgment after you've seen it. Don't sit there and just look at what other people said or look at just rhetoric online on message boards and just stupid negative vitriol. Check it out for yourself. Otherwise, just shut up about it. Pretty much. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts on it, scattered as they often are, but you guys out there think in the comments below. Follow me, social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Until next time, let us geek.